Change is one constant phenomenon in life. There is nothing you can do about it. Change will always happen. I remember reading about Yahoo and how that they cancelled their remote work policy just shortly after the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, that was a very big change for the company. Loads of managers and loads of leaders within the organization, I'm sure, had nightmare because they had to manage that change in a very dramatic way. Whatever organization you find yourself, it could be a tech company, it could be a religious organization, it could be an NGO, it could be a very small company, an SME. One thing is constant: you are going to have to manage change every now and then as a leader or as a manager within that organization. You might have to change strategies, you might have to cut down on expenses, you might have to switch the perks and benefits that people within your organization enjoy. And trust me, people always fight change because change is not easy. The way you manage change within an organization can either make or mar what you do. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can effectively manage change as a leader or as a manager within an organization. One of the first things that you want to do as a leader or as a manager when there is a need for change is to be calm. As simple as this advice may be, it could be a game changer and it could make all the difference. Alphabet and Google CEO Sundar Pichai is known for his ability to be extremely calm under pressure. In fact, rumor has it that he engages in a 90 seconds meditation every morning before he gets to work. The reason why he engages in this meditation and in calming his nerves is because he wants to be in the best position to be calm whenever he steps into very intensive meetings. As a leader, when there is a need for change, when something happens, when something goes wrong, you should be the last person to panic in the room. The energy of the leader can easily be transferred to the followers or to those that are around. You want to make sure that you are maintaining a positive energy. You want to make sure that you are seen to be calm, and you want to make sure that you are perceived as one that has things under control, irrespective of how high or how hot the fire could be. So, first off, before you make any changes, before you make any rash decisions, before you take out your frustrations on people, you want to make sure that you are calm. When there's a need for change, people within your team, your followers, or the people that you manage will begin to look up to you for a sense of direction and purpose. So, as a leader or as a manager, make sure to set clear goals, visions, and strategy for what you need to do when change happens. I'm going to give you a story or an example. I had a scenario where folks were working within an organization and they were struggling financially, and at some point a different organization bought over this organization or this company that was struggling financially. When this company was bought over by a different entity, things had to change. What was once a standalone company now is a team or a sub-team within a new company. And what that meant was that the way of working that people were used to in the last 2 to 3 years was going to change. The KPIs, the goals, the direction of what it is that people were used to in the last 2 to 3 years was going to change. So it's your duty as a leader to make it clear as to what new direction your team is going to be taking. Now, you want to make sure that this new vision, this new goal is communicated clearly and communicated regularly. Because change is hard, people won't always get it when you communicate it the first time. Chances are that people won't even get it when you communicate it the second time. So you want to make sure that it is clear as to what new direction you are taking, and that's why you want to make sure that the new goal, the new vision, the new KPIs, whatever it is that you use, whatever term it is that you use within your company, you want to make sure that it is clear as to what it is that your team needs to be doing moving forward. I know you've heard me say this over and over again, and trust me, I'm not a broken record. Change is indeed hard. People will always fight change. And so when change needs to happen, you want to make sure that you are supporting people through the change process. And this next point is that you should make sure and you should be ready to train people within a change process. I'm sure if you're working within an organization, you must have come across this, where there's a need to adopt a new tool and people are finding it difficult to drop the old tool that they've been using for a while as opposed to using the new tool. I read about this when the COVID-19 pandemic hit and a lot of people had to adopt remote style of working. A lot of people struggled to using new tools that was going to help them work effectively remotely. So adopting to using new tools like Zoom, Google Meet, Google Slide, Google Docs for a lot of vintage workers within some organization was a very difficult order for most of them to handle. In this kind of scenario where there's a need for change, and I mean in this case it was an obvious change, you want to make sure that you are training people. So identify the changes that needs to be made, identify what knowledge gap that people have within your team, and make sure to fill that knowledge gap with effective training. Train people, and help them clarify any form of ambiguity that they might have. In addition to training people, I want to mention this. As a leader, when there's a need for change, you might have to push people out of their comfort zone. Pushing people out of their comfort zone is eventually going to help the organization and also going to help them thrive within the change process. However, when pushing people out of their comfort zone, you have to make sure to not push them into their provocation zone. There's a very thin line between pushing people out of their comfort zone and also pushing people into their provocation zone. So you want to make sure to strike that balance and be very sensitive and emotionally intelligent to know when you are pushing people or pushing your change process too far. You want to make sure that you appreciate people as they adapt and adjust to the changes happening within your company. As a leader, avoid the temptation of being entitled when the change process is happening. Make sure that you reward people accordingly and make sure that you appreciate them accordingly. If they deserve a promotion, make sure you don't withhold that promotion from them. Give them the promotion. That's a way to encourage them and also keep them motivated within the change process. If they deserve some form of salary or benefit or remuneration increase, make sure you give them that benefit and remuneration increase so as to keep them motivated within the change process. And lastly, make sure to recognize and appreciate people regularly and openly. I read a research recently that the part of the brain that is being triggered when people receive monetary benefits or monetary appreciation is the same part of the brain that is triggered when people receive praise, appreciation. So when you tell people thank you for a work well done, when you tell them this both openly and regularly, the part of their brain that is triggered is the same part of the brain that is triggered when they receive monetary benefits. How revolutionary is this findings? That even when you can't pay people all the time with some sort of monetary value, but by thanking them, you trigger the part of the brain that is going to keep them motivated and keep them on their feet within the change process. So don't forget to promote people where necessary, to give people remuneration where it is necessary, and to always praise them for the job well done within the change process. When you don't know what to do as a leader, feel free to seek help. Now, I'm very sure that this short video hasn't covered every possible scenario of changes that an organization might experience. Feel free to seek help. This help could be in a form of taking some sort of course. This help could be in a form of employing a professional consultant or change manager to help you manage the change process within your organization, or it could just be seeking help from some mentor or consulting materials online. I hope that this video is going to help you become a better leader or a better manager within an organization. Change is going to happen. It's not a function of if it's going to happen, it's a function of when it's going to happen within your organization. And I hope that this video has equipped you to be a better change agent as a leader and as a manager within your organization. Thanks for following this episode on Organizational Leadership with Seun, and see you in the next episode. Bye.